We're going to take a second look at New Alexandria, Pennsylvania. I picked this as a beginning shot because I just thought it was one of those nice things that take you back there. One of those old images that have a way of taking you to those days of yesteryear when things were good. This comes from the Centennial book that was published in 76 on New Alexandria on their 200th anniversary. And we move on. This is the place very much as it is right now. The town over here, you can see the Loyal Hannah floating by. In this area in here, there's a lot of growth, vegetation that didn't used to be there. There was a flood control project came in there and removed the structures and whatever habitation there was there for good reason, actually, but it brings up the thought that New Alexandria actually had its beginnings in this area. There was a mill, the Deniston's Mill, a sawmill and grist mill, right there. This is mapping from the courthouse, and it shows the Deniston's Mill. It was often a thing that happened that a town would originate around an old mill. Sometimes it was a blacksmith shop, sometimes a combination of those things. A mill, a blacksmith shop, a tavern, and somehow people would show up and build around there. And that's really the origins of the town. It was originally called Deniston's Mill or Deniston Town, and it grew. It was one of those areas that were that was planted amongst a farming community. It was kind of the center of an agricultural economy around there. It was the places the local farmers would come in and they could buy the things they needed, meet their friends, and do legal transactions. It was a place of meeting and collection, you might say. I want to just express my gratitude to a person from New Alex, Carol Dinko. She shared a lot of information with me. She has spent a lot of time doing research on the area, how it developed and how it came about, the people involved. And what we can see is the original town, as laid out by Alexander Deniston, did have a central point, a town square. As a matter of fact, he even speaks of the lots around there as being the diamond lots. So that gives an impression there was very likely a diamond in the middle, which was a very usual thing. Ligonier still has their diamond. Believe it or not, Greensburg used to have a diamond right in the middle of where Main Street and Pittsburgh Street intersect, but that has been taken out. And what we can see is that Arthur Deniston's diamond didn't last. By 1857, it was just a memory. The town went through a lot of changes. It wasn't an easy development. It wasn't a simple straight line kind of thing. Deniston went bankrupt. Other people got control, got hold of it. In the 1820s, a couple guys, Robinson and Johnston, got a hold of it, and they tried to put it back on a more firm footing. And when the place was incorporated in 1834, they were two of the people on the town government. But even that didn't completely solve the problem. There were still some legal glitches and problems after that. But it eventually moved on and went past all that and became a nice little community. This is that 1939 shot looking down from an airplane. You see the town over here, Shieldsburg over here. We're going to look down on right here. This is where the railroad used to go across the old William Penn Highway. This was the railroad going through. And this is looking through the old archway. And what you see looking through there is the covered bridge. There used to be a covered bridge over the Loyal Hanna. It was there for quite a while. It was there from about 1832 to 1923. This is the remains. This is what remains of the underpass. The railroad used to go across that, up on top. Here we look down in an old photograph. That's the railroad over there. This is all fill. That was built there so to allow the railroad to be at a level that it could function all right. Up here is the underpass that we showed you a picture of. This is just a culvert down here. And here's the old covered bridge. And right beside it there was a toll house. That was how they paid for it. These are the guys who were builders. I suspect it was built several times, but this is one of the crews who put the thing together. And a local artist, and I'd like to tell you who it was, but I don't know the name, did this, showing the railroad in the background, the covered bridge, the Loyal Hanna. And for reasons I don't know, the toll house wasn't in there. This is an interesting shot. I like to see shots like this that show things being built. This is the underpass that we saw, and this is the construction of it. This is the covered bridge in the background. Over here you have a vertical boiler, which would have provided steam for an engine that could have given vertical power, or rather rotational power to a good big saw. They were building a thing over here that needed a lot of forms made out of wood, and there was a lot of sawing being done. And a saw, a power saw would be a big help. This is just the top of the arch during the 1936 flood. And it becomes obvious that the area was in a floodplain, and it was necessary to do something about it eventually. This shows these two features. This is the underpass, and this is the culvert for the stream to let that go through. That's not that stream went into the Loyal Hanna. It wasn't the Loyal Hanna itself. This is looking down the stream, the old covered bridge going across. Now this is probably in the 1920s or 30s. In 1923, the old covered bridge was taken out and it was replaced by this. This is the area where there was the original mill that Arthur Denniston built, and where a community started to form around. The next picture we see will be this building right here. In the photo it's referred to as an old mill, and we can see why there had to be some remedial action done, because the place was obviously on a floodplain, and so things were done to remove structural material, structural places from there. The mill moved up to 22. It's still up there. And we're going to take a look out at Salemville. These were coke ovens. They were put in there in a more or less semicircular fashion. This is a view from the air. These were the coke ovens up here, and that's 22 going by. This is a really nice old painting, which I would like to tell you who did it, but I don't know. Coke Oven Mike sent this to me, Mike Mance. And it's a good image of the coke ovens over here, the railroad coming in, and the various structural things needed to keep a mine going. There was a mine there that brought the coal out, which was converted into coke. A postcard of that very scene. This is Salemville, looking down the street. That's the mine down here that we were looking at. And there you have the company store in Salemville. That's what we were looking at. Salemville, right there. 22 and New Alex. And a road going up to Andrico. It doesn't go up the whole way. We'll see if this other map goes from New Alex up to Andrico. That was another mine. There were a number of entrances to it, but we can have a picture of one here. A lot of people from New Alex would have been able to get employment at these local mines. They were an important thing economically to keep the town going, keep the people going. This old mapping is from 1917. It shows Greensburg down here, New Alex up here. And what it obviously shows is there was once a streetcar line going up there. Also, as far as hauling passengers go, in 1900, the railroad began operating a passenger train in and out of the area. And that'll be enough for right now. And I'm going to say so long, and we'll see you again when we do number 3, when we'll start to look inside at the town itself.